And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Elite Series League of Legends Division 2. Today in the playoffs. Yes, we are in the playoffs already, and we have a banger series coming up. But with me on my side, of course, there's the amazing, the wonderful, the beautiful QG. Nice to have you here, man.
Yeah, nice to be here again. It's always a good time to be here, and also in the playoffs. The playoffs are even more interesting because we have best of fives, more games on the clash, I think. And today is the decider who plays against the Rift Sloss on Wednesday.
Yes, because on last Wednesday or on Wednesday 2 days ago, we had Aoma playing against Rifslos, and Aoma just crushed them 3-0. No chance. And I mean, they crushed them in the regular season match, then in the tiebreaker, and then in the 3-0 playoffs. So they are just having like five wins against them. So it's really big. But I don't know if we have like any graphic about our upcoming match, because there is a Reapers against Dynasty. This is our lower bracket start of this tournament, of this playoffs. Yeah, you can see it. First of all, we had Oma against Wrestlers with this 3-0, and now Dynasty against Reapers. And yeah, could you say something about this matchup? What do you expect about both teams? And just
I
whatever you think about them.
I think this matchup especially is going to be very jungle focused. Um, we, I think that the Scan and um, um, I have the name on the tongue.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Scan and Trinket, sorry.
Yeah.
They are very close. Their champ pool is almost the same one. They are both the focus here. You see, the Wukong is their most played champ. Scan is actually almost 50% on the most played as his most played champ. And what you don't see is Trinket also has Vi on the top 5. So the percentage is a bit there. You see, they have very high kill participation, 74 or 75%. That's actually very high for a jungler, and I think it all depends on the jungle here. The CS is on the Trinket side, so you see that Trinket. If he goes in, he gets more kills, and he has a better CS than Scan. So, but this kill participation is 1.6 off. So it shows that Scan is the main focus of the dynasty, with Dark UniQ too. So Scan has to feed up their AD carry, and but we also have a head-to-head that we can show you, and there you see how the teams went, how fast they are, how the games are actually going. We can hop into that too, and you or me can maybe explain a bit what it is.
Yeah, like we see some stats about both of those teams, and I think one really crazy point is that Reapers usually just finishes their games a little bit closer. Not only like the shortest game from them was a little bit faster, but also like the average game time, and that definitely speaks for them that they can just get a huge lead and just try to finish the game as fast as they can. And that's quite funny because Dynasty, for example, has a higher KDA, so they usually play a little bit cleaner in their own games. So that's why the games just turned out to be a little bit slower, just because they don't want to force too much. They don't want to die that often. They have cleaner team fights, so that their KDA is just a little bit higher because they fight a little bit longer. They fight a little bit cleaner, so the games takes a little bit longer, and Reapers are just a little bit more messy, but that definitely paid out. We see in this year's gold on damage per minute that they have better stats than Dynasty, so they have a little bit more of an explosive playstyle, especially like Wine on the top lane, for example. Just a crazy dude, and definitely plays always on the edge of his matchups. And especially like we saw this matchup Trinket against Garen, like both players definitely players to watch because I quite remember some games with Trinkets, Kindred for example, and with Lolo and Karma, and they just like crushed all those 2v2 skirmishes in the jungle and stuff. So definitely they want to finish fast, you could say so. And if we just look back at the last couple of match days, I think we saw like Reapers crushing them in 2 times in a row. So like their head-to-head record right now is a little bit better for Reapers at least. And I think that was one of the reasons why Reapers even got into the playoffs. Because if they would have lost some rounds, then Pertinex would have snagged this playoffs run. So we definitely have a little bit of a favorites there in terms of Reapers. What is your feeling about this game? Is it a clean 3-0 from a team like in the last series, or do you think it's a messy 5-game series where both can win it?
Like I said on Wednesday, I think best of 5 is all about mental. If you win the first game, you have the edge. You are not that nervous. You can play a bit slower, maybe. You can play a bit more risky. And I think if you're down 2-0 in a best of 5, the mental really struggles because in the third game, um, there actually it is really important to stay focused, not tilt, um, and so on. And I think, and I hope it will be 5 games because these are more interesting, and it's just the thing you want to see 5 games. But and I actually think these two teams are really close. But the Reapers have the better stats, but the overall Dynasty they played really well in the first half of the split. They were in the top 3 with 1 loss, and then it went on. They're still third, so in theory they have the edge. But I think it will be a very close game. I also want to say that Reapers have more damage per minute. It means they poke out more, and their team fight their skill shots hit better. So I think it will be very very close game. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, especially I'm just maybe 1% biased just because my boy's getting in the jungle, like one ex-player of my org, and like he was the player on the focus on one of our sheets. So definitely I would wish him a 3-0. But I think Reapers look so strong. And like when the split started, I talked a lot about this duo Lawlor and Wind and just how really, really strong they look. And like it would be a really great Cinderella story for them to coming from the qualifiers into this league and just getting close, really close into the playoffs. And now maybe even winning it all if they win the next couple of best of 5. So like that would be really amazing stories for this Italian organization. So I always liked Repass a lot, and so especially because I like both organizations. I like so many players of the teams that I wouldn't really like to see a 3-0 just because I want to see them fight. I want to see them win a lot and lose a lot, of course. And hopefully we go into a 5-game series because that's the moment where esports shines. That's the moment like in a 2-for-2, and they both need to play their heart out in a last decisive game, or one team maybe reverse sweeps another team. I mean, those are the moments I really love about esports, and so I would really like to see it because like those 3-0 sweeps. I mean, Aoma did a really great job in the series, but come on, give us a little bit of a show, and give them a little chance. But in the end, if a dominant team wins 3-0, then it's fine for me. But I would really like to see a clutch series. But before we go into the draft, what's your final prediction, like final standings of this game. 2-3 for one of the teams.
3-2 Dynasty. 3-2 Dynasty.
3-2. So Dynasty will win in a really hard series. Okay, I will go with 3-2 as well because of my boy Skull. And like just for you guys, we have one little roster swap. You can already see it. It's not Sniller on the bot lane for Dynasty. You got subbed out. I wish him best of luck if he is not feeling great or something. Ayu is playing, and so hopefully Dynasty can manage to do it without their main support. Anyway, we are in the draft already. Take me through it. What do we see here?
Yeah, we see the Gragas ban, a good flex pick at the moment. We see the Varus, decent AD carry still. The Wukong out for Skeln and for Trinket, so we see maybe another of these top junglers. Yep, Pool is still open. Olaf is banned out for Wind, and we also have the Karma out for Lolo, as you said before. Lolo and the Kindred is out here too, so they both have Vi and Jarvan open, so Jarvan could be the go for Skeln here. Depends on what the Reapers want to pick. Still have the Exile that is really strong. If you want to go for that, or the Maokai you can also still play, or you play the Jinx because she actually got buffed this patch, so she's very good if you with a Thresh or a Rakan or even a normal Enchanter that can really focus on her and defend her and peel. And then we have Misfortune and Jace of the flex pick, also a good top end pick. Doesn't have that many counters, and the Reapers immediately highlight their Akali for Lolo.
And like the Kindred ban definitely just shows us that Skeln might want to have the Jarvan, just because Kindred is a wonderful counter pick to Jarvan, so banning it out could mean that they will go for it, especially with Misfortune already. They have a little wombo combo if they would go for it, so that could be a decision. Now that we see the Zac, it could be a Sejuani as well, just because you can always stop the jump from her and stuff, so definitely a spicy draft already. Zac into Misfortune always is a good pickup, and Lolo goes for his Rise in the mid lane.
Yeah, and also the Jace is really good with the Sejuani. Also the lockup for the Misfortune. Well, you can if you're a good Jarvan, you can. Oh, we have a Nidalee.
It scans Nidalee. I talked with him about it, and I really I wish that he will pick up his Nidalee, and maybe that's the game for him. And like we already see a lot of scaling on Reaper's side with the Jinx, with the Rise. So if they get to the late game, it could be over for Dynasty, and that's why I really like the way of Nidalee. With Misfortune and Jace, you kind of have those early to mid game picks already. And Nidalee definitely has a good matchup into the chase. She can always jump out of his own knockup, and she can definitely go into his jungle, can pressure him in the early game. So, and she can try to bring early game to Dynasty to maybe snowball into mid game and to finish it with this team comp. Because right now, I don't believe that they will win like the scaling battle with this draft, so they definitely want to go for the late game for this early game draft. So maybe with an aggressive support here, and then maybe with an aggressive other sideliner, or maybe with a small like late game win condition at least to keep them in game. That would be a way to play it.
Is the choke off again? Well, the Reapers banned out Cyan for the engage and also Nautilus for the engage. And the Nidalee Renekton combo is also out because Dynasty banned it, and Darius is also gone for Wind. That means they pick up their top laner or mid laner. You can still swap Cho'Gath how you want, in my opinion. And there's the Blitzcrank for MEL. Hovered.
Yeah.
And
And
I think there's a lot of poke on Dynasty side. There, I always talk about the go button for the team fights, and for Dynasty I don't see any yet.
yeah, that could be a huge problem, especially if you play against such a scaling team comp. You really want to like force something, just get an early lead, and like if you don't get those big team fights where you can just engage easily with something, then it's could be really hard to like punish those scaling picks if you don't get like an actually hyper aggressive support now who can engage all the time. Maybe the Leona, for example. That could be one last remaining option.
A Rakan too.
Yeah,
Also
Rakan too.
good
Yeah,
for the lane against Blitzcrank is also good. But there's the cannon. And as you said, there's Luna for the engage.
prediction.
Good front line. Yeah, the prediction. But the Reapers comp is way out of the chart. The cannon and Zaku and the Riser go in for the engage. There's the go button I talked about, and it will not be that easy. Cho'Gath will not have an easy lane because, well, it's cannon, and also where the damage comes from the Nidalee for the top 2v1 or 2v2. But I think the Reapers really look good. They look too good.
Okay,
They look way better than Dynasty, in my opinion.
Okay, so you think you believe that Reapers won the draft?
Yes, I think it's for team fight at least.
Okay, yeah.
I think it depends on the early game how it goes. Well, if Dynasty comes ahead, the Nidalee and the Jace are going to just poke you down. But if you arrive for the objectives maybe earlier, it's harder to poke, and you can establish these positions with Zac and with Ryze, with Blitzcrank. So you want to be first on the objective. It means that you have to go back earlier, and Dynasty has to read that when they prepare, so they have to even prepare earlier to be earlier. There, it's a never-ending circle. That's what I think, because if you have Nidalee and Jace paired with the Leona, it will really be a dance. They want to dance, and the Reapers don't want to dance. So you see, therefore, I think in my opinion, it really depends on the team fight, because you have to team fight, and with poke you have to really hit it, and if you don't hit it, you die in fights.
That's true. And like one really important sentence usually is that poke loses to hard engage just because you have no time to hard engage, and versus Zac, cannon, or maybe just hooking out those poke champions, it could be a rough time for Dynasty. But with that, we will probably go in-game in a couple of seconds. You believe that Reapers have the better draft? I think there are two wild cards in this draft. One is the Blitzcrank. Like having a good Blitzcrank in your team usually does a lot. And if he connects those hooks, then it definitely could work out for Reapers. But also we need to talk about this Nidalee. Just one of those snowballing picks you need to win such a series. And like Skellen is a professional, he knows how to play this Nidalee. So that could be the wild card. If he lands those spears, if he just gets the early game popping, then maybe there's a chance for Dynasty. But I believe that Reapers have the little bit stronger draft as well, in my opinion. But now we are here.
It's easier to execute. That's what I want to say, and I think in a best of 5, it all comes down to execution. So just go with the easy comp for the first game, and it's also very good. The cannon will probably go AP, so nobody's really going for the armor if the top side is fed, because they all deal magic damage, and the Jinx can just hit, because she doesn't need to buy armor penetration, and I think that will be crucial thing.
Yeah, definitely. And let's check it out. I just checked out the stats of Wine's cannon because he played it a lot on solo queue recently. He has he has an 8-1 record in Challenger solo queue. So 8 wins, 1 lose on this cannon. Like Wind is just an amazing top laner, and he usually plays the AP cannon. So that's what I would expect. So maybe it would be hard to get some armor in against this Jinx, and she can hyper carry in the later stages. So that's definitely a big point of view. But let's see. Especially Cho'Gath like hasn't the worst matchup against those ranged champions, just because he can try to poke them out, and also he has like good sustain with his passive, so he can at least survive such a lane for a long time, and maybe even go for something if he hits a good number of Qs himself.
Yeah. Also, the Q got buffed. I think it has less mana. It costs less mana, so there's also the point of you can spam more. The passive really heals you up. You can sustain more. Because Cannon just wants to use his range advantage against you.
Yeah. But like for an early game, we didn't see anything like special right now. We maybe see like a little interesting thing with Frankie going in. We see like just a little interesting thing with the Dark Harvest of Nidalee, but I think that's just normal. And if you like can snowball, then Dark Harvest is definitely one of the better runes for you. But
Scan is already in mid lane. No, he doesn't choose to.
there's some poking in the top lane, and like those poke trades, especially if Squarepants just hits some damage as well, he has just more sustain than Cannon. So Cannon definitely needs to play those little skirmishes a little bit better, and especially there he just tanked a lot of minions, so he quite got to half life, but he can just poke back, and especially underneath the turret, he just has a lot of damage against it as a ranged champion, of course.
Yeah, and that's the new Cho'Gath skin. Isn't he a monster with a church or a city on its back?
Yeah, something like that. Looks
Yeah,
scary if he
it's a
gets
city.
big.
Yeah, the splash shots look really like damn. Looks good.
Yeah, but really like concentrated early game from both sides. No like big misplays or something. No snowball is going on, and especially just from Scallon side, he couldn't really go for those for those crucial invades against Trinket. So they are just almost like on the same CS level. And Trinket already was space, so Scallon goes for like a double clear now already on Chicks and on Crux. So he will just farm up a lot, while Trinket, because he was base already, could try to go for something if he just sees a good opportunity, of course. But like it's a really intense early game, and I think we can feel that this is a playoffs game because both teams are really just not that fast right now.
Yeah, but
They're
it doesn't play into Scan's cards.
No.
Because if he doesn't get the early lead, his Nidalee is going to be weaker. And I think he has to do something soon.
Yeah.
Else he falls behind. Because Zack just gets tankier with the items and with levels, but the Nidalee with levels, yeah, kind of stops scaling at 9 for poking. So after that she needs items. But yeah, it will not be easy for Scout to look something. I think they want to focus on the level 6 here. With the bot side, and then maybe do something with the Leona and the Misfortune.
Yeah, and first track going to Dynasty, so with the pressure of bot and mid, you could see that mid pushed in, bot pushed in, so that they have just the priors on their side. Ooh, a really good hook there, but like there's Frankie on his way, but nothing can happen there, and Leona is just too tanky to really die from just one hook. But at least it's the first track going to Dynasty, so they kind of just get a little bit of skating out of it if they can secure more tracks, of course. Then they could maybe even have a little win condition in the late game.
There's a dive.
Zach
Lolo
is
is
coming.
level 7.
Lawless also, they will definitely try to dive. Even Wind has level 6, so we might see something here, but he is still full life.
First.
He is still full. There comes the knockup, there comes the damage, there comes the Maelstrom, and in the end, it's the first blood for Wind. And on the board side, Io is really close to being dead, but can flash out, so maybe DYNASTY can do something now. There was not much room to play with, but there is Scale, and if he hits just one spear, that could be it for the Blitzking, but he doesn't hit it. And in the end, it's just a good dive done by Trinket, Lawler, on the Wind.
Yeah, and you also see the Cho'Gath going for the Spectral Cow to just deal with the poke and the magic damage.
Yeah. And like, that's a really good invade here from Trinket. Normally, Nidalee invades Zac, but in this case, he knew that Nidalee is on bot side after he saw her ganking the bot lane with the spear. So he can now go for the jungle camps, but Lolo may be in trouble, but there's Zac on the wall and he jumps in, he gets Scale and he is dead, and now it's a 2v2, but there are there's a lot more damage for Lawler than for Frankie, so they just win it. They burn the flash of Frankie, and now they can even go for the Herald because Skeln is dead.
Yeah, and there you see the Nidalee falling behind. If Zac comes for your red buff, you know that it doesn't end well. Also, the Zac gets the Rift Herald, so Reapers definitely control this early game.
Yeah, it was a death rocket, but nothing happens. Was a good try by Emil, and especially like with the rocket, if she hits, Lawler probably can flash in, but they didn't go for it.
And I see it's already good for wind. Just look at the CS.
Yeah.
There's still a big wave ahead of him. So wind really has the upper hand here.
Definitely. And like, if we just check out the gold already, it's like 3k almost for Reapers, and it's just the early game. It's just 9 minutes in, and they are already like ahead that much. Scalens Nidalee doesn't really got into the game, so she is just even, but almost behind because of the kill and exists. And there's the jump in onto the Cho'Gath. He will probably die in this 2v1, and Scraphands can't really get out of there. There's just Wind securing it. Second kill for Wind on the top lane.
Yeah, and now Scan goes for the red buff trade because he can't do anything else. And you see that the Nidalee doesn't. It's hard to say actually, but if he gets a good 2v2, he's back again. But Scan has a hard time to do anything. Therefore, it's really hard to play Nidalee, in my opinion. You have to control the early game, then you have to control the mid game. You always have to be in control with that champ.
Bot lane might get doved here with Emil hooking into Frankie. There's the bullet hell coming out from DYNASTY, so you get one kill. And in the end, that was kind of a good dive, even though they didn't dive.
It was a half dive.
Yeah.
But the dragon's also coming up soon. And that's a dragon you don't want your enemies to get as a poke comp. like this. The Earth Dragon gives you % resistance, so it also reduces your damage. But I think TPs are both up for the top laner, so they can maybe TP bot. I don't think it will be.
Yeah, and the whole
MJ
squad.
is just pushing out the wave, probably. But they don't know they're on a ward, so yeah, Dynasty decided to not go for the dragon. They give the Earth Dragon for the Reapers. And it will be a Chemtech soul. Today I don't have problems with the Chemtech.
New map.
But yeah. It's again in these players we had 2 souls. It was Chemtech and Hextech, yes. There we have the gank.
And then the gank try onto Frankie, gets knocked up, he gets pushed down, and in the end Frankie will probably die. It all of flashes in for that. It's just another kill for Reapers and probably even some platings in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, and it looks dire for Dynasty. 4k down. Zac already has Sunfire.
Yeah. Speaking about Sunfire, we have the first couple of item spikes on a couple of champions. Like the Eclipse, like the Gale Force, the Rod of Ages with 4 stacks already. Even the Hextech Proto Belt for Wind and Abyssal Mask going in here for Squapan. So that should help a little bit for Nidalee if she gets in those resistances, get shredded down from Squarebrand. So at least something, but still it's not just 3k. And like this whole early game draft, especially with Frankie's Chase, with Scan's Nidalee, isn't really working out. So at the moment, they really need to get back into the game, and I would definitely try to play around this Leona ultimate. Just go for like an ultimate into Misfortune, ultimate into a Scale Spear. Just try to dive bot lane maybe. They need to do something. They need to come back in this game, because otherwise they just get outscaled. They just like get outplayed on every single lane. So they really need to do something right now.
Yeah, they actually have. It's Lolo's Roll of Ages is stacked on the 19th minute, so even before the 20 minutes, it will be full stack. Probably has the Sarah's Embrace finish at that time, and he will be unkillable. Because really have to see him down. We got Misfortune ult, and there's the second Herald for Reapers.
And that's big. That's really big, because with that they can probably just go for one turret, maybe even for another. But there's Ayu trying to get on Lola. There's a full burst combination from Frankie, but it's just not enough right now. Scan even tries to get on him and he gets the kill. So in the end, it's at least one kill. There comes the teleport from Wine, but he can't really get into it. Jogart is coming. We might see a big knock-up, and that could be a trinket. So in the end, Scan might get a second kill here. That's wonderfully for him. And it was 2 kills for a whole turret going in favor for Dynasty.
Yeah, and the 2 kills went to the Nidalee, so that's good. She definitely needs those kills. And now has the Night Power Star finished. So I think for a choice of the Abyssal Mask. You don't see that item that often, but this time for Cho'Gath, it's actually not that bad. If he gets poked, he gets health back, mana back, and if he uses spells, he gets health back. And I think this is pretty good, so he can spam, and if he gets hit, he gets mana back. So it's also crucial for a Cho'Gath, or the hook almost hit it. And it reduces your enemy magic resistance. That's also good for Nidalee.
Yeah.
And you get MR if the enemies are close. You have 4 magic damage users on blue side. Actually, yeah, 4. Count the Blitzcrank in for AP damage.
Yeah, totally. Drake is spawning right now. The whole squad is there from Dynasty. Even the teleports comes out. Lolo and Squarepants are here for the Drake. But there's Squarepants, so he can always just secure it with his burst from the ultimate. So, but that could be a good team fight if they find a good engage into the backline. Double knockup is there. There's Cannon doing massive damage here into the backline. Double kill already for Wind. Could be a triple against Ayu, and there's the triple kill. Meanwhile, even Dark Unique dies, and that was a winning team fight for Dynasty and probably the Drake.
Yeah, I called out that they are stacked. That's the thing you don't want to do against the Zac and the Cannon. So they just jumped in. Even got on Dark Unique and Ayu to CC them more. Then Wind just came in and did Cannon things. Now he's 5-0, he's probably dealing so much damage. And he's going for the Shadow Flame, as I see. Yeah, the Cannon gonna hit hard.
It's just full penetration there from Vine, but no, Ayu is there. Squarepants, Skeleton is also coming, so they could get a good sidestep there. And there comes even the Zac, so maybe Vine can survive it. But there's the knockup, there's the deletion from Skeleton. In the end, we might see even a second kill here on the bot side. Can Trinket jump out? Yes, he can. In the end, Ayu's ultimate doesn't connect, and Skeleton tries to hit the spear, but doesn't land it. So, well played by Trinket jumping out in the last possible second.
Yeah, this was a fierce Batman for Squarepants. He hit the feast, thought he would get the kill, but there was probably a regeneration hit coming. And also the Gemtech Dragon is enhancing Zac's healing from the Radiance Virtue that he bought and from his passive. And he gets 3 if they want to get Soul. So they definitely need anti-heal soon. Also get a bit of healing Rice is going to make, but it's not that much.
Yeah, and now minute 20, Baron is spawning, so we might see a little Baron dance coming up from both sides, especially like with Lolo. You can always just start the Baron and maybe finish it, but you don't need to. You have like a really good opportunity to just try to run them down with Zac, with a hook. Just try to start it and try to burn out some cooldowns from Dynasty. And that might work out for Reaper. So it's definitely really hard to play for Dynasty. There's a Baron start, and either they finish or they just like get something and go out. That's like a huge decision for them, because right now it's just a 50-50 and they probably do not want to take it. But like they're Squarepants, so they already just got the top laner away from the turret, and now Wind can maybe go for a hold here to turret for the Reapers.
Yeah, and Squarepants had to move because he doesn't have TP. Up now, but we see maybe a fight.
Oh, yeah, they tried to catch Squarepants out, but he is really tanky, especially against AP carries. So he kinda survives it in the end, but it was close. But he's just he's just a too tanky boy right now. So no catch there on the sideline, but still, it's there's not really an angle for Dynasty to really come back. Because they really need to win some team fights. Dark Unique 2 might get out picked here. He gets out with a really good Gale Force there. And in the end, they even get the Blitzcrank, but there's Vine getting one. They get another kill on the Jinx, even a third kill with the Zac double kill coming out for the real MJ. And in the end, it's just Squarepants and he can't win a team fight alone. So there's the clean ace. Almost. They just traded one kill or a Baron and the whole ace, so that should be game for Dynasty.
Yeah, and you see that the execution is just easier. You hit your skill shots and it's a go. Also scan snacking all the kills. Also means that fights are not getting as easy. We have also need some items to do some damage. Maybe we see IU. No, there's the
flashing on Lorelor and another flash, but
the minion.
The spear doesn't land, but in the end, Scalen with the flash just secures Lorelor. And with Lorelor dead, they could go for the Drake. I mean, 30 seconds on Drake, 38 on Lorelor. If he TPs in, it's another 4 seconds. So they almost have 10 seconds to secure the Drake before Lorelor can even do a single bit of damage. So it's a 4v5 in the Drake spawning scenario, but Frankie gets caught out. He is just dying. Ayo even gets in with the Senate plate.
Oh my god.
But can't really do anything right now. Drake is now already spawned. The damage from Wind is just too strong. Even has a Rabadon's death cap in base probably, so he is just huge. There comes out the teleport from Lorelor, and that's probably the Drake for the repass. There's no really good way for Dynasties to contest it right now.
Wind's Q deals more damage than Nidalee.
Yeah.
Just saying. There you see how far behind she is. But yeah, it hurts to see that a cannon is really bursting the Frankie down. But with these two, almost 3 items, you can do what you want as cannon. He's also level 16 now, so the ult is going to hit even harder.
Oh, the dinosaur got slapped against the inhib, but kind of survived. And now the second turret now gets knocked down from the repass, and like, this does not look good for Dynasty right now. Inhib gets dropped down, and in the end, repass can just go out, probably reset, go for the last remaining turrets on the top side, and just play it cleanly. And if they see any possibility for an engage, Wind will probably delete those health bars. Kind of reminding me of SMAP against G2 back then in the world stage. Just deleting 4 people with 1 clean Maelstrom. I mean, that's something Wind probably can do in this game as well. So let's see what the Reapers are up for. But like, I don't believe that there's any chance left for Dynasty in this game, because if Reapers just play it clean, then they will probably not lose it.
Look at the damage. It's disgusting. What the items that the Wind has is not even comparable to any other. He's at his 4th item. Lolo is at its 4th item. The Jace poke doesn't hit. He has to go for the Hex Drinker because of Wind's damage. He loses damage.
Maybe the last stand here. Square Pants is already deleted. And there's Wine just deleting all of them. 2 kills coming into his pocket. And in the end, that's it. Reapers will win this first game in the series. Frankie even was almost dying there in the 2v1. But no, nothing will happen here. Maybe he even gets Emil, but that will not matter anything. Oh, there's a good hook. They even get Frankie out of the base. It's just the ace. It's just the Nexus. And in the end, it was a clean stomp from Reapers. Yeah, they didn't really did a single mistake. And yeah, just got a free first game almost. Team comp worked out a little bit better, especially like the chase and the literally this whole poke comp didn't really work out in the end. And yeah, Reapers just cleanly win the first game of the series, which is a really huge thing in the best of 5 series. Just going up in the first game, it's for the mental. Yuji, you already said it so many times. Say it again. It's for the mental, right?
It's for the mental, right?
Yeah.
Especially in situations like this, if you're normally you're prepared for best of 5, but the first game is where you set the bar. Reapers set the bar. They said, we go for a team fight, easy execute, hit the button, go in. Wind did it, Wind hit it, and Wind killed it. So I think we got an MVP for this game actually. Wind just deleted everybody.
Definitely. And for now, we will probably go into a small break for you guys. But of course, the second game is probably coming up anytime soon. So just stay tuned with us here in those playoffs of the Elite Series. And we see you soon after a short break.